What about the good and the bad? What we're seeing, good and bad. How's that sound?
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
The good, the bad, and the ugly.
Great movie.
Ugly not referring to Xavier or myself, just for the record here. So be sure to sit down, like and share. Tell your friends about it. You feel free to send us any questions, any comments, and we'll talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. That's the best part, is when you have questions, suggestions, ideas.
Exactly. Let us know. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know what your friends are thinking, and we'll talk about it on the show today.
All right. Quiet on the set.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Today y Mañana. I'm Alex. This is Xavier. We're really excited to have you joining us this morning. It's a chilly morning in Charlottesville, but it's a beautiful morning to sit
energized.
down, get cozy, and listen to Today y Mañana. We have some awesome entrepreneurs.
We do.
And some awesome businesswomen that we have with us on the show today. We're going to be joined at 10:30 by Carolina Obando of Carolina Obando Beauty, and then at 10:50 by Stephanie Devada, owner of Seaville Picnic, and by Linda Dull, the event manager at Glenthorne Farm. It's a beautiful spot here in Charlottesville.
Looking forward to all that.
So just a fantastic
if we could
show
only
lined
get
up
by
for you
the
today.
first 15 minutes, it'd be great. Yeah.
I know, all you got to do is last through the financial segment. Learn a little, the educational part. We're like one of those shows, those little children's shows where they're teaching you something, but then you really want to just get to the fun part. That's us. We're teaching you a little something, even though you have to get through and say, I really want to see Carolina and Stephanie and Linda.
That's right.
But that's what we have this morning. Our charity for this week is the SPCA of Charlottesville and Albemarle. That's because Vitae Spirits, one of our sponsors, is having an event on Halloween. He's partnering with Jack Brown's on Sunday. They're having an event in support of the SPCA. So have dogs you can come look at, to perhaps adopt, and then you can donate to the ASPCA while you're there enjoying a drink from Vitae Spirits.
We gotta make sure Michael doesn't go to that.
Gotta keep him. I know. He'll come back with like 2 dogs that he's adopted.
That's right.
From the event. Other sponsor news, as always, we are presented by Emergent Financial Services. We're also powered by Tristel Noel State Farm, by Seaville Picnic, by GBS Financial Services, by Vitae Spirits. Some news on Tristel Noel. She was actually featured on the National State Farm.
Wow.
Featured her, because it was the week of mentors. They call it Femtor, but it's like your mentor as a female entrepreneur. Okay. And so, of course, her mentor was Olga Morse, the founder of Ford Adelante. Oh. So Tristel got featured and talked about just her quote, I believe, was that the disadvantages that you think might limit you can actually set you apart and be an advantage if you use them to create something unique.
That's right.
So that was her. So because of that, she was featured nationally by State Farm. So
Fantastic.
Congratulations to Tristel Noel State Farm, one of our sponsors here at Today Mañana.
Muy bien, muy bien.
Muy bien, muy bien. Muy merecida.
Sin duda.
And so, all right, so we got a topic today for financial segment. Obviously, Jerry and I on the show on I Love Seaville on Tuesday, we were talking a little bit about just things that were happening, predictions, inflation, hyperinflation, how are things going, that little Twitter spat between Kathy Wood of ARK Investments and Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter. But one of the topics that came up, of course, are what are we seeing in the market in terms of not just the markets, but the economy as a whole. What are some leading indicators you and I are looking at? What are the signs? As Jerry was talking, obviously he and Keith talked a lot about real estate. So he and Keith were, I guess, seeing some signs that were not as good in real estate as they've been so far. And we were just talking a little bit about what we're seeing and what that kind of portends for the economy and our crystal ball for 2022, as difficult as the crystal ball is.
Well, and this is all very interesting because, part of what's happening in the economy, right, is a combination of very expensive energy prices, right? Which is always a problem. And the other thing that's interesting is the fact that when you talk about real estate, it's the rise in interest rates, right? And so we've seen the 10-year go up by about 50 or 60 basis points, and mortgage rates are linked off the 10-year Treasury, right? So of course, as interest rates rise, the cost of your house then becomes a little higher because in the sense that you're going to pay a higher interest rate. So all that gets tied together. This is, and I always say, you look back in history and say, okay, where are we, and how can we go back and say, okay, here's the stage we are in this particular situation, because that's how it was back in 2008, 2006, or before that, 1998, whatever. The issue is that every single recession is really different. In other words, the catalyst to that recession is different, right? And we are really, faced with a situation here that is somewhat confusing, right? And it's never happened before. And if you take a look at, I grew up with the bond market, right? And the yield curve is a great predictor of things that may happen, right? And if you look at the yield curve over the last month and a half, it's been chaotic, right? And so last week we even talked about how, you began to see that long-term rates were separating themselves from short-term rates and also from stocks. And this past week has been a complete reversal. The spread between, the 5-year Treasury and the 30-year Treasury, right? That whole area has begun to flatten. And even though it doesn't seem very much, the 3-month T-bill, for example, has gone up from like 0.02 to 0.06 for no reason. In other words, that won't move unless you think or unless the Fed is going to act, right? And so you sit there, you go, all of a sudden, short-term rates seem to be going up a little bit, right? And long-term rates, in a very short week, and long-term rates have come down, right? And so you say, well, is it because people think that that's the end and therefore they want to take advantage of the long-term rates, or is it something else? And I just think that people are very nervous, right, about what is happening, and the inflation numbers are very scary, right? We know that the Fed has said we think it's transitory, and then they say, well, we have to define transitory, and then they don't define transitory, and we're sitting here 6 months.
People nervous.
Yeah, 6 months in, and there's a difference between seeing 3 or 4% inflation versus 5-6% inflation, right? And we talk about 5 and 6% inflation from the perspective of CPI and PPI, which is the numbers that look into what the inflation rates. But you look at gasoline, it's up 40-50%. You look at food, it's up 12 to 15%. So the areas where the consumer truly needs to spend their money, they're seeing a 20%, 30%, 40% increase, which means that there's a lot more money that's going in now into buying services or goods that you need to live on, as opposed to goods and services that you want to enjoy. So all that, I think, is very nerve-wracking for the consumer, and you see consumer confidence go down. And you and I have talked about this before. Consumer is 70% of the economy. So if they begin to feel the pinch and say, I can no longer, right, buy goods that I don't need. In other words, the area of the economy that you say, yes, I got to buy food, I got to buy oil for my house, or gas, or gasoline because I got to get to work, right? But it's consuming, right, the funds that I have that used to be disposable to buy fun things. If that stops, the economy begins to have a challenge, right?
Which, we saw a little bit as headline numbers today. We got the third quarter GDP number out, and it was 2% in the third quarter, and even economists were expecting 2.7.
Right.
So it was even, and that in itself is a low number. Remember, we're coming off a year where we plunged the economy, almost 90%. You would expect that, and it looked like it was going to bounce back in a V shape, but now we're kind of stalling, and we're stalling to an even greater degree than economists have predicted. So they were looking at 2.7, we ended up at 2. You said, I think you commented on Jerry, so yesterday, that the tracking for fourth quarter is
0.5.
0.5, so it's under 1.
Yes.
Personal consumption expenditures, so that's how much people are buying. That's personal consumption expenditures. You'll see it as PCE sometimes. That's the number that's a measure of how much people are spending as consumers. That was 1.6% in the third quarter, down from 12 in the second quarter. Yeah. So it really slowed down.
No, and
in that third
you're
quarter.
seeing that across the board, and you can blame inflation on many things, right? But I always say that when you look at the transportation cost, meaning gasoline in particular, oil in particular, right? When you look at that cost and it goes up by 40, 50, 60%, right? Something's got to give, right? When you have a lack of truckers, right? You have to ask your question, is it because there really are a lack of truckers, or is it because the trucking service says, I can no longer make money because gasoline prices are so high, right? And I can't even charge more because the person that I want to charge more to says, no, I can't afford that.
Well, but
so
the person you're charging already has to pay more for the goods
exactly,
you're transporting.
Exactly. I mean, shipping from I think it was shipping from China to here, right? I think that cost has gone up 1,300%. I mean, that's just enormous. That's insane, right? And again, we talked about this.
It speaks to why we're constantly sort of tooting that horn of why certain things you want to be made here, because you don't want to put yourself in a position
my point.
where that's suddenly things you need. Those microchips, those things to make cars, those things for medicinal purposes or healthcare purposes. You don't want to put yourself in a position where suddenly those things cost you 1,000% more.
That's right.
To get.
Well, you put yourself in a position, right? I mean, let's look at oil in general, right? We were energy independent, right? And we decided the administration in this case decided to produce less oil, right? And we are now buying oil from not only the Middle East but from Russia. And you say to yourself, how does that change the perception of how much oil we really use, other than the fact that we are now paying more, right? And we are putting ourselves in a situation, and we've done this for many years, where we are now at the beck and call of countries that necessarily don't have the same viewpoints that we do. In other words, China is a communist and Russia's communist. And that's fine. I mean, you can have whatever government you want, but it's not the type of government that really we want to be dealing with.
They're all they are Russia plus the OPEC countries, the ones in the Middle East. Once you give them leverage, they are going to use that leverage. They're going to cut back and say, all right, we're going to make less oil so that you have to pay more for our oil. So you need at least one trading partner that's not in lead with them. And the problem is we were that. I mean, we ourselves were that person.
That's right.
If we're going to do that, then we have to be prepared for the fact
that
they will
We've done this in just about every part of our economy, manufacturing, any type of production you can think of. I mean, we talked about the medicines that are all created abroad. You get to the point where you've sent everything away, right? And now all of a sudden, all those countries say, all right, we're in charge because they're buying from us. So now we can say, if you want it, you have to pay more, right? Because why has shipping costs increased by that much? There's no reason, right? I mean, oil hasn't gone up by 1,300 because it's if you want it, it's going to cost you more, right? So we've put ourselves in that position. So from the perspective of the U.S. economy, right? And not only the U.S. economy, but other countries around the globe, right? But certainly the U.S. economy, which we imported so much, right? Those imports are now just increased dramatically, causing an enormous amount of inflation and shortages, which is even worse, right? So I think from a perspective of this country, we have to take a step back and say, do we want to bring back manufacturing here? If we're willing to pay 20, 30, 40% more for product, you mean to tell me, then at that point, we should be able to afford to do it here, right? And there are certain parts of the economy, without any doubt, you should have the manufacturing here anyway, right? Because like I said, it's just a function of different type of governments. I mean, as we've talked about it, we are not comfortable buying any stocks, right, that are from China right now, because of what they've done.
Because of no transparency.
No transparency whatsoever. And as far as I'm concerned, that's fine. You don't want transparency. I don't have any issues with it. I'm just not going to buy your stocks because that's not the way we work. I can't go to a client and say, I don't know anything about the financials of this company other than what the government gave me, and I don't know where they got that from. And so I feel good. No, it's just not this is not how you invest, right? So I think this is what I mean. So what's happening right now is something that's never happened before. So how can you predict the future? You know, without any doubt, if you think of technology, technology has a way to bring inflation down. So technological innovations, right, helped during from 2008 onward, and it should help going forward. But the squeeze that we're getting from everything else is very, very painful. So when is that going to stop? Is it going to stop? Are we going to do anything in the meantime
I
to
guess
help?
the question for 2022 is, does it stop before people have to top that so much that you've sent the economy into recession, essentially? In other words, there's a point at which the average person says, things are so expensive, I need to stop buying.
Right.
Right? And when you reach that point, and everybody does that collectively, we all stop buying, that's when you actually hit recession. So the question is, like, we know the things which can cause recession. The question is, does this persist long enough for that to happen? Or does it prove to be transitory, as in less than 1 year, and it pulls back? Because like I said when I was on Jerry's show on Tuesday, it's one thing to tell someone, hey, you're going to have inflation for 3 months, and it's going to go away. But when 3 months becomes 4, becomes 5, becomes 6, then people start to change. We start to change our behavior naturally.
Exactly.
And that's what you don't want to see happen. And that's what we're sort of in that gray area. You know, there's people always asking us for the crystal ball look, right? And I always think back to whenever people say me to look in the crystal ball, I think back to the Lord of the Rings, where Gandalf says you don't know who else may be watching the crystal ball. And so you sit there, we're in that gray area where it's not a clear sight, because there's so much uncertainty and there's so many external factors that you look at and say, well, until these things go away, right, we don't know what's going to happen, because we don't know what that limit is at which the consumer says, I'm done. I can't afford anything else.
Exactly.
I'm
And that's what you don't want to happen.
That's different for each person, but it's hard to figure out what that is for the entire economy.
Yeah. And you would have never expected that coming out of a pandemic, because people coming out of a pandemic wanted to go out and have a good time, right? They wanted to experience life all over again, not just buy goods, but also buy services, go on vacation. Hotels would have done better, restaurants would have done better. And we're just not seeing that. I mean, part also is, the new COVID guidelines have caused some of that issue also. But you really going into 2022, you're a little nervous about it. And so certainly, without any doubt, you want to have a situation where you look at your portfolio and say, am I really well diversified, so that whatever happens, I know that part of my portfolio will do well, part of it may not do well. But what we always say, the idea is you need to have that constant growth, and if you can get that constant growth, would it be between 6 and 8%? That's fine. I mean, some sectors will do, like I said, the S&P 500 is up 23% this year, so it's not like we're suffering. But if next year the S&P 500 is only up 2 or 3%, then that's fine. For 2 years, you've still done very well. So you still have positioned yourself in such a way that you're not finding yourself in a sector that's down 30% next year, and you say, I shouldn't have put all my eggs in that basket, right? So that's the key. But it is a may you live in interesting times. It's interesting times for different reasons, but they're interesting.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's still hope in the sense of that, as long as we can try to get small business thriving again, that'll go a long way to alleviating some of our issues.
Yeah, and let's hope so, because without any doubt, the small business, like the consumer is 70% of the economy, the small business, in my opinion, is the backbone of this country. Right? It's what makes this country great, is that you walk around and this show has proven to us how many small businesses there are, which we said, I didn't even know, right? And it's fantastic, and we just have to keep our fingers crossed that continues to flourish.
Exactly. Well, that's why we'll keep highlighting them as we do on the show. And so in that vein of highlighting small businesses,
we have one here
with us today. We're really excited to welcome to the show Carolina Obando of Carolina Obando Beauty. Carolina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I really appreciate the opportunity that you all have given me to be here. For me, it's very important, and now that I've listened to you guys talk about the economy of this country and how important small businesses are, and I totally agree with you. I think that I appreciate the small businesses, the local businesses, and everything they all do for our community, for the economy.
Absolutely, including yourself. So for those who don't know about you, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to have Carolina Obando Beauty as a business.
So this is this is a long story, but I'm going to try to make a long story short. I always enjoy doing the beauty business since I'm originally from Colombia, South America. And since I was a little girl, I always enjoy doing my friends' hair, my family's hair, makeup, hair, beauty pageants at school. And this is something that I really enjoy very much. And this is actually was my hobby growing up. When I moved from Colombia to the United States, I moved with the idea of going to college, 4-year college, to study business, and then go back to Colombia. It didn't happen that way. Things changed, and we have I have a few circumstances, difficulties that didn't. It kind of got in the way for me to continue college, right? So I went back and I said, well, I really want to do something that I enjoy a lot. I want to go back to school and do something that I really enjoy a lot, that I enjoy doing, and that I can help others and with my talent. So I thought, and I remember that, growing up, I always loved the beauty. I always loved making everybody look more beautiful, because I believe that everybody is beautiful. We all have like a very particular beauty of us. Everybody is a beautiful creation. So, but my passion was always do something like be able to increase and make everybody look more beautiful, right? Enhance the natural beauty. So I went back to school, and that's when I decided to go to cosmetology school. I was very, very young. I've been doing this for about 20 years, but always working for a salon or working as a self-employed. Never wanted to open my own business because I was a little scared, a little afraid about it. So, but a lot of people start knowing me in the area as Carolina Obando, beauty, right? And when it was time for me to open my own business, when I felt like, okay, it's time for me to do this, I thought that keeping Carolina Obando, keeping my name, will be the best, because everybody knew me. Exactly. Everybody will find me as my name. So I thought about finding a business name, but everybody will advise me, you should keep your name. Your name sounds nice, and everybody knows your name. So that's how I came up with that name.
And that's and Carolina is it sounds beautiful in the first place, right? So it goes well with the beauty, and it's easy to roll out of the tongue. So and then once everybody knows you, it's a Carolina Bando Beauty. So therefore, they know who it is.
It's like
exactly.
When Fernando Rere from House of Touch was on, he said that you are in certain businesses, he does barber.
Okay.
And he said you are the brand.
That's right.
Yes.
Like, your personality, what you do, your talent is the brand of Carolina Bando Beauty. So if I had to ask you, like, what makes you unique, like Carolina Bando Beauty, the business unique? What are some of the things you do for your clients? How would you answer that?
Wow. So
it depends on the client, right?
Depends on
yes. That's right. Well, I think what makes me unique, I do personalize my services. I do believe that everybody needs a different service, everybody's different, right? I believe that all women, especially because I specialize on color and color correction and makeup, all of that, and I believe that women nowadays are not only looking for changing their appearance, but they also want to be listened. They're also want to go to a beauty salon not only to get their hair done, but that's kind of like a way to pamper themselves, especially nowadays, to be listened, to talk to someone, to actually say things or talk about things that they're not even able to talk to their own husbands or to their own family. And for me, behind the chair, I emphasize on that I want to listen, that I want to be able to provide them with a good advice, with a center, advice. I want to be like their friend, somebody that they can count on.
Sure.
For me, it's not only important to be able to beautify them, but also to make them feel important from the time they start, they walk in the salon, they sit down on the chair, they are queens, you know, women are special, we're queens, right? So sometimes we're not listening, not even on our own home. So I want to create, like I create a space at the salon where women go to the salon and they feel important, they feel nice, they feel special, and they walk out of the salon not only looking beautiful, but also feeling relief. And also, I do work with natural, organic, derived products, or certified organic products, from head to toe.
So you come out healthy as well. It's not like you've been put on
Exactly.
things that
Bunch
aren't
of
good
chemicals
for you.
on to
Things
make
that will also, I guess, are good for your skin as well.
Exactly, health and wellness, from inside and out. So I feel like I'm kind of like a therapist, a beauty therapist.
Naturopath.
Yes. So
a therapist of the mind, the heart, and the body, right?
yes, for me it's very important because we can look very beautiful outside, but but maybe not very pretty or very. How do you say
Confident
that?
or-
No, there is a word in Spanish, como I have to say it in
Say
Spanish.
it in
You can
Spanish.
help
Go
me
for it.
translate.
Go for it.
Cargados en el corazón, como un
Yeah.
poco.
Charred, energized.
No.
No. So when your heart is heavy,
Heavy,
a
exactly.
heavy heart sometimes, yeah. Yeah.
So you want to sort of lift their
Lift
spirits.
that
Exactly.
heaviness out. That's right.
Exactly. So we have these rituals at the salon with essential oils, like our client will come in the salon and they will get a scalp massage, head massage. It's a good time to relax and experience the natural beauty and the holistic products as well.
Oh, so you also in the salon you also give massages.
Yes, scalp
Okay,
massage.
well, that's interesting. With essential oils.
Yes.
And like what type of like lavender oils
Lavender, eucalypto.
or eucalyptus?
Yes, like I feel for me that's very important. Nowadays we are running everywhere,
That's true.
Working moms, her small kids at home, having to take care of the household, the stress that we live in right now. So to walk in on a beauty salon and just got this time, not to just walk in and get your hair cut and leave again.
Right.
Just have that experience. For
Exactly.
me, that's more important.
That's interesting. Wow. And how many you work by yourself, or do you have other people working with you?
So I do have 2 assistants that
Okay.
work with me right now, but I'm looking. I mean, it's been a working process because we just expanded the salon. So I came from a small studio, her studio, to a bigger salon. So right now I'm working on building a team.
Awesome. So what's the growth been like on the entrepreneur side? What's it been like to be the owner? Because in addition to what you do on the beauty side, you're the owner of a business. What's that growth been like, and behind the scenes, and what you have to put in?
Well, let me tell you, it's been amazing. I'm just very surprised that even through the difficult times that we're going through with the pandemic and everything, I've never saw this coming, never thought that I was going to have such an amazing growth.
That's wonderful.
In fact, it got a little overwhelming to a point where the growth kept happening, and I didn't have enough hands, so that's pretty much what is really, for me, the main concern is that the community is embracing me so much. The people love what I do. They love the experience. They love their hair, their makeup, their services, and I'm very happy and glad and blessed that we have this tremendous growth. But I think my challenge right now is finding the right people, the right team, getting the right team together with the right attitude, not only experience and talent, but for me, the attitude is very important.
Absolutely.
Because I have worked so hard for so many years to come to where I am right now, and I want to continue to be able. For me, my clients are the most important for me, clients are very important, and my clients are important, and I love them. I try to take care of them, take a good care of them. So if the team that comes with me needs to have that same vision, the same love, the same attitude.
Absolutely, which is the challenge. I mean, when you have that business built in like yours in so many ways on trust. I mean, it's built on a relationship between you and the clients.
Yes, absolutely.
You want to make sure that like
And
the
yeah,
team,
you have to-
that's the
you have to-
challenge is to
I'm
make
sorry.
sure that as a small business owner, you bring in people that share that vision so that they continue to build that trust
Exactly.
with your clients and continue to
Exactly.
grow the brand and the reputation that you are.
Yes, absolutely. That's very, very important. And not in this way, like I believe that having the right attitude also is a very good, like a main, how do you say this, a fact? Can I say that as a fact or as una
Factor.
característica, un factor,
Sí.
yeah, to grow, to be able to grow.
Yes.
Right? And
Absolutely.
as a business owner, I want everybody with me to grow, right? To be able to be to be honest with our clients, to be sincere to them, open to them, loving, and at the same time driving have that passion to grow. And I believe being honest, having honesty, and loving what you do, having the passion, and adopting the same vision, and working as a team on a business, that's the key to success.
And really, that's the beauty of small businesses, right? Is that if you find the right people to work with you, right,
Yes.
then the business grows, organically. Because if those people have the same vision and passion that you do, they realize as you grow, they grow also, right? And you work for huge corporations, and you may have a lot of ambition and passion, but no matter what you do, you're still just an employee. But here,
Yes.
you're part of the growing business, and like I
Well,
said,
just the way you spoke
passion.
about Catalina as a team,
Right.
And as assistants, it's not like there's this corporate entity that says, "All right, here, your job is just to do this person's hair, and once you're done, you're done." It's like no, for you, it's the whole atmosphere, and the team is part of that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yes, I agree. This is more than a job for me, and I'm sure that there is stylists and cosmetologists out there that think the same way I think, and love their career the way I love their career, or maybe even more. But unfortunately, there are also professionals that are not, that don't see this beautiful career as a passion, like part
Right.
of their life, but they see just just as a job, and that's it. Like I'm gonna go to work, do what I do, and so that when that happens, when that attitude is part of a person, of someone, of a being, it makes it hard for people to succeed on what they do, right? Because for me, having passion of what you do makes you do the job perfect, right? And exceed the people expectations.
And you can
It's true,
see
you
it
can
because
always
just the
see
fact that you use organic product tells you that you care. And it's not just I can use whatever just to make them feel good. It's like you care
Yes.
about their body and saying, I'm not just going to throw this chemical on you to make you look good. I want to put something on there that I know is good for you,
Oh, yes,
right?
yes.
And it's not going to harm you. That all you can just see that there's a passion to serve in such a way that is a loving passion, right? And not just I have a passion, but I'm also thinking about the bottom line. No, that you can see that there's a passion and a genuine love for what you do,
Yes.
right?
Yes. That's
And it's the
totally
extra
right.
effort that only really the entrepreneur can put in. But
Sure.
you being the owner can say, "This is the vision that I have
Yes.
for my business."
Absolutely.
There's no one above you saying, "Carolina, this is the vision of the business. I'm sorry."
That's right.
That you get to decide that.
And this is what makes it so beautiful, because before, when I used to work when I was an employee, I saw things that maybe I didn't agree with, and always have that vision. Eventually, when I own my own business, I want to provide people with the best, not only services, but the best products as well. And I do believe that it's important because, and this is going back a little bit about to talk about how I came up with this holistic concept. I was surrounded of friends and some family that, for using conventional products out there, got they started experiencing like health problems, like hair loss, like skin decoloration, allergies, cancer, like all of these problems, health problems that women don't know that we get it from the products that we're putting in our skin, the shampoo you're using, the hair color you're using. And you probably don't see that immediately, but you'll see it with the years. Like, what is my hair? Why am I losing my hair? Why
so
is
important,
my hair, my scalp itching? Why I have this problem on my scalp? Why is sterile, like infertility? All of that because our skin, like everything just
absorbs
it in.
Exactly, and it goes to the blood, and it's just crazy. Just when I found that, when I started researching more about it and learning all of this horrible stuff that conventional hair color and products and for skin and hair care do to your health, I definitely have to change.
No, I agree.
I had to make a decision because it was my responsibility. I knew it now, so it was my responsibility to be able to offer something different to my clients.
Absolutely.
It's true, and it happens because sometimes if you walk into a salon and you can smell, right, whatever they're using for hair color, and you can smell it. You go, and you say, if it smells powerful, it can't be very good, as opposed to walking in and smelling the aroma or something like that, or eucalyptus or lavender or something.
It's the natural
exactly.
scent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Carolina, you have some fans watching the show today. We've got Astor Eobando.
Yes.
Love the show. Viviana Alonso Ponce.
Yes. Hola, Oscar. So Oscar is watching me. He's my husband, and I'm surprised he's watching me now.
He reacted. He has a little heart.
He's keeping an eye on you. That's what it is.
Yeah, he's keeping an eye on me. Yeah.
He reacted with a heart to the post. Thank you both for watching.
Thank you so much.
No, this has been wonderful. Before I let you go, so if people want to get in touch with you or contact you, where can people find you? Where can people reach you?
Yes, absolutely. So we are located in the heart of Crozet, Virginia. It's right next or across to the library on the Piedmont Place building.
Okay.
I'm having I have a hard time. My accent is still very strong. I've been in the United States for over 20 years.
You're doing great.
And
Fantastic.
my accent I never was able to reduce my accent. But anyway, so it's so the salon is located in the second floor inside the Piedmont Place building in Crozet. And we are open from Tuesday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Also, plenty of time. You can even come after work if you need to.
Exactly.
In the evening.
Exactly. And because we're kind of we go by appointment. So usually we go out of sometimes this has happened where we go after working hours or before working hours just to kind of to fulfill someone's need. If someone needs to, I'm going out of the country, or there is no way I can see you before 8, so we have gone before working hours or after working hours to be able to see clients. So
That's
if
fabulous.
they can contact us or call us, I think we're probably going to share that in the...
Absolutely, yeah, no,
Right?
we'll share the contact info in the
Yes.
link. But do you have but you can be found on Facebook.
Yes.
As Carolina Obando Beauty. Can people make an appointment via
Yes,
the message?
they can make an appointment via Facebook message or Instagram, and also my phone Vagaro. I'm also listed in Vagaro for appointments. That's my schedule platform where people can
Vagaro.
go in and make appointments as well.
Awesome,
Wonderful.
awesome. You have a lot of big fans. So Diana Maria Rayero Uribe says, excelente persona, excelente mamá, soñadora y gran empresaria. La felicito.
Gracias, Dianita. Te quiero mucho.
Y Yesenia Martinez says, hermana Caro, Dios le bendiga.
Gracias.
Y Amparo Rayero is giving you
Oh, yeah, my family is on board.
Yes, which is awesome to see. So fantastic.
Thank you.
Carolina, this has been such a
Gracias.
pleasure to have you on the show with us today.
Muchísimas
Un gran placer.
Un gran
Muchas
placer,
gracias.
un gran
Muchas
placer.
gracias por venir.
Gracias a ustedes, de verdad que les agradezco que hayan contado conmigo para tenerme en el show. Para mí es un privilegio poder estar acá.
Igualmente.
Igualmente.
Muchísimas gracias, thank you very much.
Thank you. So while we do our little swap-a-roo here,
That's
of
right.
guests, we're just another fantastic interview. You love to see and sense the passion.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
when you have entrepreneurs like Carolina on, you sense how much they love what they do.
No,
right?
exactly.
And it comes through, I know it comes through when we're in person, it comes through the camera and all of that. So it's so fantastic.
Right, and you know what's the beauty of it too is that when you see people that love what they do, but then they also, it's that, like I said, the caring part of it, right? Where, you know, it's not just, you know, I cut their hair or I give them a massage or, you know, I make their face look beautiful, whatever, you know, whatever beauty goes into that, right? But like I said, using those products where, you know, that they're good for you, right? Or at least they don't harm you. And that's so important because without any doubt, long term, that's so important, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And so from one passionate
Yes.
entrepreneur, we bring on another passionate entrepreneur, two passionate individuals.
exactly.
Passionate about what they do.
Yeah, full house
And
here.
so a full house, and some beautiful creations that we're about to show you. So we're really excited to welcome to the set Stephanie Devada, the owner of Seaville Picnic, and Linda Dull, the event manager at Glenthorne Farms. Stephanie and Linda, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
We're
You know, Stephanie-
so glad to have you back.
You know, Stephanie said that I should ask her all the questions in Spanish because she's now, you know, so
Honorary
well,
Latina.
yeah, versed in
poquito.
Spanish.
Un
So
poquito.
un poquito.
Un poquito. But just, I mean, first off, I mean, we did a nice look at
Look at
this
that.
fantastic charcuterie board, fall themed. I mean, it's just gloriously beautiful.
Thank God we got Nick here,
I know,
right?
we got some
We got
camera work going on here
camera
to
work.
get this on the screen for you to see. I mean, it's gorgeously done. And so, I mean, Stephanie, is this a taste of what, so someone who is doing a fall themed picnic with Seaville Picnic could experience?
Yeah, if they request some specialty, usually we do, you know, seasonal flavors and items and everything. This one's a little bit out of the norm, a little extreme, but
But I'm loving it.
was
I'm
warranted
loving it.
for the show
I just
today.
want to know why is it over there and not over here? I mean, we got a problem here.
You want a piece of it
I
over
don't know.
there. But it's just, I mean, it goes to show you but they can expect this level of detail and artistic talent when you are there and you experience the picnics that you provide.
Oh, I mean, we've had some special requests too. Sometimes I've had like 5 proposals in the past, like
Wow.
5 weeks. So we try
Wow.
to, you know, add some romantic touches, some
Absolutely.
salami roses. You know, who doesn't need that?
Oh, that must be fantastic. Well, you get to look at it beautifully, and then you get to taste it afterwards.
Exactly.
You get to eat it. So, just want to give you both a chance, because I know sometimes we've got some new guests that maybe aren't familiar with you. Tell us a little bit about both Seaville Picnic and Glenthorne Farms.
Sure. So I've been in business for about a little over a year now, and it just keeps on growing. This fall has been super busy.
Wonderful.
And I partner with a bunch of wineries and now a farm as well, too, and set up luxury picnics. We bring pretty much everything to you and coordinate with the wineries and the farms. And so you just need to show up and enjoy your picnic.
Oh, it's amazing. Tell us a little bit about Glenthorne, Linda.
Glenthorne Farm is our family farm. It was originally started in 1767.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in the Rockfish Valley, right off of Route 151.
Oh,
Okay.
you're up right there. Very
yeah.
easy to get to.
Right
Absolutely.
there on the Brew Ridge Trail. We're closer to the end, kind of the location. We're right behind Bold Rock.
Okay.
And
Oh,
our family
you
has
know
been
what
on
it
the
is.
farm since 1880.
Wow.
And it has been a family farm. And
Wow.
just this past May was when we started to open it up to do events.
That's
and
fantastic.
we found Stephanie and talked with her, and we together came up with the idea of partnering, and it's been wonderful because we've got some beautiful mountain views. We're right in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and we have got a ridge that looks over the Rockfish Valley, over the South Fork of the Rockfish River, actually goes through the property.
Oh,
We've
nice,
got, a
nice.
stream, we've got a waterfall, we've got all kinds of things, so it's just a really
Great for pictures.
Oh, yeah, we've got photographers that come to do engagement photos and family photos, and yeah, it's
That's
just
terrific.
a spectacular scenic place to be, and so
That's incredible. So
Come
tell us, I know
down.
we've got some exciting
yep, and
news.
a great
that
place to come for a picnic, and
Yes.
yeah,
A picnic. And then exciting news, they renovated the carriage house on the property, and so now if you want to stay a little bit longer after your picnic, you can stay on the property for 1 night or 2 nights.
Oh, okay.
So it should be like picnic plus like almost like bed and breakfast-ish. Like you said,
Picnic and stay. So
Picnic
if
and
you're trying to plan a romantic weekend away, you can stay on the farm, enjoy everything that the property offers, and then even walk over or stumble over to Bold Rock too, if you like.
Stumble over. Or stumble
Walk over,
back.
stumble back.
Oh yeah, may have the wrong order.
Yeah, we are calling it the Picnic and Stay, and once we renovated
Stay.
the carriage house, we've had a lot of people who've seen it and who say, "Oh, are you renting this out? And how can we come and stay?" And we've decided to exclusively stay with someone who's doing an event like the Seville Picnics can choose to do a picnic and stay, and that's the way to get to come and stay.
Absolutely.
The carriage house is a 1920s carriage house that's been renovated, and we've paid a lot of attention to detail on the inside, and everyone has said that this is like rustic luxury. And we said, oh, great, I'm glad that that's
exactly
the
what
feel
you're
that they
looking for,
get.
right?
So what more than a gorgeous picnic from Seville Picnic and the charcuterie boards, and Stephanie is fabulous about the details that she puts into it. She really takes the time to make it specific to the people who are there for the picnic, to their needs, and you can have that special time either up on the ridge overlooking the mountains. We've got down near the river. We've got a lot of places wherever you would want to be, and then if you want to stay for the night or two, stay in our carriage house.
Absolutely, that's great. That's
that'd
fantastic.
be so beautiful.
Now, for the events, is there a place for the events, or is it usually with tents and things of that sort?
It's with tents
Okay.
because we have 4 different areas, and it just
Oh.
depends on what view you want, where
Okay.
you want to be, and the
Okay.
size. So we've got the tents that will go to wherever they are.
Okay,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And they have hops when it's in season too. So if you have someone that's more into beer as well too, that's a great area to set up for the picnic too.
Yeah, and that field, our hops field, looks out over Wintergreen Mountain and Crawford's Knob. So you're sitting there in the hops field looking out at the mountains. And what a great place to sit. And if you're coming
Wait,
for
you
a
live there every day.
I do.
You're
It's
lucky.
amazing.
So you're the lucky one.
I am.
We
I
only get
am.
to experience that once in a blue moon.
But we're ready to share that
Yeah.
with other people. And the nice thing about being at Glenthorne Farm for a picnic or any other event is you are the sole people who are there. So
That's
if
true,
you really
yeah.
do want, like she's done a lot of engagements, you want an engagement and you just want it to be that private, special time. We're not another kind of an establishment where you've got other guests coming in and out. And so there's a lot of specialness about having that private little space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just you and the nature and the beauty of that. One of the things I repeat about what I love about Seville Picnics is just the idea that you go out there and you have the picnic, the beauty of the natural landscape, the food prepared for you, and you don't have to do any of the planning yourself. Like you don't have to sit there and say, I need to figure out how this works, how I get this there. You just go and enjoy something that I think is the land. I love that you have multiple spaces because
Sure.
you can pick the area that you think is perfect for you, and then Stephanie, you'll come in and tailor the picnic to what it would be beautiful for that precise moment that the couple or the people on the picnic are trying to capture.
No, we had a bachelorette party there, and it was a lot of fun. They had the bachelorette picnic, and then they were able to change in the carriage house and went on a hike around the property too.
That's another great idea. That's right. Wow.
Which must be
fantastic.
fantastic.
Now, Stephanie, let me ask you a question. So, when people ask you to put the picnic together, do they typically have an idea as to what it is that they like, as far as what type of foods that they like, or anything that they may be allergic to, or do they say, Stephanie, I have no idea, just put it together for us?
Usually in the booking form, it goes through and asks all the questions. So we usually have about 2 to 3 different styles that they can pick from. It comes with a seasonal charcuterie board, but then they have the opportunity. They can always reach out to me if they want some special colors or a little more personalized event, which I try to do like the best to be able to
Sure.
make it as perfect and what they envisioned as possible. I know one proposal last year too, just the the guy proposing was like super happy because like all of the attention to detail and things that we worked out, he just had to show up. He had never been at the winery. He had
That's the
never
way
been
I
at the
like it.
winery before.
Just want to show up.
I do a map from them too if they haven't been there, so they know exactly like where to go. I coordinate with photographers too, so that they can have one maybe hiding in the tree, so they don't know it's there. It didn't ruin the surprise.
Oh, that's so
Lily, one of your previous guests, was the photographer for a proposal as
So
well
Lily was
too.
hiding in the
She was
trees.
hiding in a trail.
and running out, which is really so fantastic to think about it. Probably and Nick can probably attest to this. Probably as a guy, you're so nervous about that proposal with the rain and stuff that you don't want to have to be thinking about. Oh, what food do I bring in the picnic
forget
basket?
about it.
How do I have to lay this out? What if it's windy? How do I get a photographer? So it's like you fill out the form. Stephanie does all of it for you, and the only thing you don't have to worry about is getting on one knee. Basically.
And having the ring with you, I suspect.
having
I
the
don't
ring
think
with you.
Stephanie.
Stephanie was,
Okay, I just
provided
wanted
the
to check because that would really be alright. Does that come with it?
Read included.
We provide a little emotional support too. You know, if you need some texting the day of, like, yes, we're still going to be there.
Yep.
You can do this. She's going to say yes.
You've got this. You've got this. Oh, you have a big fan. I think one of your biggest fans because he is a 1-year anniversary fan of Seville Picnic. Carlos Guevara wants to book one of those picnics. Is he any relation?
Yes, that's my husband. He's been impatiently or impatiently waiting for me to set up one for him. So I'll have to, give him an early Christmas gift or something,
There you go.
or a month-anniversary gift
There
when
you
not
go.
booked.
Exactly. So what are some of? Because I know you said you tailor so that there's seasonal themes that you do. So what are some of the fall seasonal themes that you're introducing this fall?
Right now it's pumpkin spice, so it's got a little bit of everything, all the lovely fall colors, everything that you could really think of, and even some blankets too, if it's a cold day too, to enjoy.
Snuggle up a little bit.
Exactly.
Awesome. And then that must go beautifully with, the fall colors at Glenthorne Farm at this time of year.
Yeah, I would think
must
so.
be incredible.
It is. When you're looking out now over the mountains, you're getting all the colors, the oranges and
Wow,
the yellows and
wow.
the greens. And one of our fields has a full 180 degrees of view of mountains from Three Ridges, which is a very famous hiking mountain that we're right at the foot of Three Ridges on one side and Wintergreen Mountain on the other. And it just the color and the beauty of it, it's amazing.
That's
really
going to be
amazing.
amazing. Yeah. Now, can people visit the farm even if they're not doing a picnic?
We're not I guess to say a public or open farm,
Right.
but they can come if they want to have an event or a tour.
Okay.
If they want to have a photography session. We're open for that. All they have to do is to contact us. We have our website is glenthornefarm.com.
Okay, gotcha.
That's Glen, and then Thorn has an E on the end of it. Glenthornefarm.com is our website, and they can come for all kinds of events. We've had family reunions. We've had receptions for an art festival. We did reception for them.
Okay.
Weddings, and those are the ways to come. But just contact us, and also you could come for a visit just to see and to tour. We're open to that. The home was built in 1809, so it is a historic home.
Unbelievable.
That's still there, and that's where we're holding events down in the lower section. You can come into that area, and we can give a tour. And of course, one of our favorites is a picnic. Come and do that, and better yet, picnic and stay.
Picnic and stay and stay
Picnic
the
and
night.
stay.
Now, if you stay at the carriage house, no, go ahead.
It gives you all the exclusive, access to the property and makes it easier
Sure.
to plan and set up.
Yep.
Exactly. Well, you don't have to try to set it up yourself. You reach out to Seville Picnic, you set the place. I guess when you book through Seville Picnic, right, you can select.
You can
The
select
place that
one
you would
night
like.
or a 2-night stay if you were staying at the carriage house, and just pay a deposit, and then we coordinate with Glenthorne Farms with the dates and everything. And then once you're booked, then we ask if you have a preference on location on the farm, since there are so many different options to pick from.
Absolutely. And I love the idea that your picnic will then accentuate the natural beauty of the place where you are. So you've got this fall colors on the trees, you've got the mountains, and then you knowing that, Stephanie, with your attention to detail, that your picnic will sort of accentuate that. You'll have colors that remind you of fall. You'll have those blankets to keep you warm. You'll have that pumpkin spice feel. You'll have the charcuterie board that sort of reflects the seasons as they come. Just everything comes together to really just remind you of what a special moment you're trying to capture. Whether, it could be a proposal, it could be a bachelorette party, it could be just, I want to have a memory that will last. And I love
you.
memory
That's right. Exactly.
that will last with a photographer or without a photographer.
That's right.
You can either capture it on camera, or you say, I just want to have this in my mind.
That's right.
In my memory, that I had this special moment that was created, and it's so unique because you really can't. How many experiences are there out there where you say, I get to go to a farm that is not typically open to the public.
No.
It's not some trail you can get to.
And a historic farm.
An historic place that has been around since the 1700s. And I get to experience a picnic of a style, let's face it. We've seen the pictures and we've showed them.
Sure.
They're
We're showing
amazing.
them. It's something you can't do for yourself, really. It's not even just like Stephanie saves you the trouble of doing it. You're not going to go and get all the pillows and the blankets and the little chairs and the table and the tent if you need it. There are things that you just can't do as an average person.
Exactly.
Because you're not an expert at it like Stephanie is, that you can go there and get this amazing experience.
And I always try to put myself in the customer's shoes as well, too, because my background is in design, so I learned a lot about ergonomics as well, too. So just making sure that, even though you're sitting on the ground with pillows and stuff, making sure that everything's at a nice height, that you're comfortable. The weather conditions during the summer when it was really hot, we were providing cold frozen towels, too, just to a little thank you for putting up with Virginia's weather conditions.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
But now the winter, we've got blankets, a lot of
Warm blankets.
Yeah, we have fire pits at some of the locations too. And then as we transition in the winter, I think we'll be having some fun indoor pop-up events as well, which is another option too at Glenthorne Farms, because we can set up at the nice thing about the carriage house is it has nice big large doors that open up to the patio. So you can still, depending on the weather, you might have a little bit more of an indoor-outdoor option and still be able to see views of the farm.
That's great.
One of the things you think about is I love that it's year-round, but sometimes winter is one of those things where it's such a beautiful time of year. Like when you can look out and depending on how recently it snowed and so forth, it can be gorgeous, but obviously it presents its own challenges. So to be able to have that sort of mixed space where you can say, I'm kind of in winter, but I have the comfort of being partially indoors and knowing that you're there to make sure that it's a comfortable experience as well. That's
a great partnership. I take my hats off to both of you because that's fantastic. Really. All right. It's just to be able to stay at a farmhouse that has that kind of history with those views and then be able to not have to worry about anything else and you have this beautiful picnic in front of you. Wow. That's special.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, we just feel really blessed to be working with Seaville Picnic and Stephanie and doing this because, like I said, we love the fact that the farm is still very private and we want to share it with people, but we do want to have that intimate experience for them. So we're sharing it, but we're sharing it in intimate moments, not just sharing it wide open with a lot of people at a lot of times. So partnering with Stephanie has just been fantastic for us, and we just love what we're doing together, and we're just really excited about it.
I can see that.
It's been a fun experience. And then, too, if you would like wine or Bold Rock with your picnic, too, we can help coordinate pickup as well, too. So if someone pre-orders it from one of the local wineries, too, we can pick it up and have it at their picnic so they can still enjoy
so Bold Rock.
a little bit of everything.
Exactly, anything you could need.
Yeah, it is. Actually, Bold Rock is on the Rockfish River runs between our property and theirs. So you literally can walk across the road and there, and there you are. Go up the hill and
so you don't even have to drive there.
You don't even have to drive.
That's perfect.
You can
go
walk
over there and you can stumble home, but it's not a big deal. You're not driving.
That's right.
Exactly.
Carriage house.
You stumble back to the carriage
That's
house
right.
and you're all
house
set.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you're all set. That's amazing. And so what's the website for people to book through Seaville Picnic?
Yeah, so they just go directly on Seaville Picnic. If we have Glenthorne Farms open date, they can select the picnic, they can add on the 1 or 2 night stay automatically, and it just collects the deposit, and then they'll handle all the paperwork and the remaining balance once they arrive on the farm.
Oh, so easy. It's
Piece of
so
cake.
simple. So SivoPicnic.com.
Yes, and if they don't see an available date, they can always reach out too. I'm sure we can work something out too, and make their day special.
Absolutely.
And both of us have Facebook and Instagram.
Yes.
And we are at Glenthorne Farm, and she is at Sivo
At
Picnic.
Sivo Picnic, yes, and I think you've both been tagged, and Nick is doing his job. You've both been tagged
Good.
on today's post, so you can just literally on the Today Mañana page, click Glenthorne Farm, go right there, click Sivo Picnic, go right there, and voila, you can put your picnic and stay
Yes.
for the fall.
That's a great idea. It
That
really
is a
was. I mean,
fantastic idea.
you guys had a great idea there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm looking
Thank
forward
you.
to see the fruits of this partnership, and we'll have you back to see what comes next.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you so much for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you
Always
so
thank
much.
you.
This has been a
Here.
great experience for us. Wonderful.
Absolutely.
It's time to enjoy the charcuterie board
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
and not eat on camera.
Right off camera. Right off. Sometimes the guests like when we eat on camera. They're like, "Oh, it's so good." But then we'll always get one and say, "How come I wasn't there?" Or that Mike at the office, "How come I wasn't there today?
That's right.
Why didn't you invite me on the set today to have some of the charcuterie board?"
It's going to get tougher and tougher to keep, Nick and Mike away from
I
there.
know, away from especially.
Yeah,
when
they're
we
trying
have
to pull
such-
me out of this
such
chair, I can see
beautiful
that.
creations that
I should have added
edible
some of the
ones.
leftover empanadas on
A little Latin feel from Today Mañana and sombreros. Absolutely. But always such a pleasure to have you on, and just a beautiful partnership that I think will
It is.
bear much
it is.
fruit.
Like I said, it was a fabulous, great idea.
Absolutely, especially when it's fall, winter, spring.
Yeah.
It'll be so beautiful, especially in all those seasons.
Yeah.
But absolutely fantastic. And so another great show that we had today. Really enjoyed it.
Well, this is,
love
yeah, I
having all
mean,
these-
we say this every week, but it turns out to be a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun because you can feel the passion and the love that people have for their businesses. I love it because the idea of small businesses growing and flourishing is what I like and what I like to see. And the idea that you can now share this with other people and enjoy it yourself, what better than that?
I know, exactly. You participate and know that it's all local.
Yes.
And it's people that
Yes.
live here and love this community just like you do as the customer.
Exactly. Exactly.
Which is special and fantastic.
Yeah.
We've got some more fantastic things going on next week. We're going to have our Latina Roundtable, the first round of our Latina Roundtable. So
okay.
we got Liz Marie Zambrana from Healing Moon. So in other words, guests we've had that we're bringing back to
Okay.
sort of chat about Latino entrepreneurship in America. So we've got, and locally. So Liz Marie Zambrana from Healing Moon, Chris Martin from Baker No Bakery, and Carolina Medina, who's the Director of Lending and Operations at the CIC, the Community Investment Collaborative. So talking a little bit
That's
about...
gonna be high energy. I can just.
Oh, it is. But we like high energy.
Well,
on
that's what
Today
they do. I love
Mañana.
it. Yes.
That's
what
what we
makes
want.
it exciting.
That's what we want. Pauline Brunetti watching the show, saying very enjoyable show. Thanks for
Thank you,
watching,
Pauline.
Just always be sure to let us know what you're thinking, like and share the show. Love to have our guests. We really appreciate just being on the set, Judah behind the camera. Appreciate all our sponsors, Sivo Picnic, Cristel Noel State Farm, Vitae Spirits, GBS Financial Services, partnering, of course, with Forward Adelante, the premier Latino networking group here in Charlottesville, presented as always by Emergent Financial Services. And just love being on here, love you, the audience. Thanks for watching, for letting us know what you're thinking. Nick has been sharing. You can check at Sivo Picnic, at Glenthorne Farm, right there in the feed, in the comment feed. But just really appreciate the audience coming out and sharing and let us know what you think. But just
Absolutely.
another blast. And so we're excited to see you next week. But until that time, hasta mañana.